Is on. I'm a frequent flyer on this stage today, thanks to all the fiction writers, the mythology and fiction writers. Even get introduced as a mythology writer, even though I'm not one. So I'm sure you all know Anand very well and his work very well. I'm going to jump right into it. Anand, um, of course, the first book of yours I read was Asura, and it was a counter-telling. I think we had a conversation about it some years ago at the BLF. And then there was Ajaya. You have told the story from Ravana's point of view. You have told the story from, in Siyake Ram, it is from Sita's point of view. You have told the story from Hanuman, Vali, and Sugriva, that perspective. These have all been kind of counter-tellings, so to speak. And then suddenly you come up with this one, many Ramayanas, many lessons, like a Kaka Bhusundi, who is going to be present in all the Ramayanas. Can you tell us why you did this? How come this sudden shift? Is it an apology? Apology, not an apology, but as they say, the apologetics, in defense of the explanation behind your impulses. Tell us about that, please.
Thank you, Mani, and good morning, Bangalore. It's always a pleasure to be in the city where I wrote Asura. I was inspired by all of you to write Asura. So thank you very much. I love coming to the city. And I have become your neighbor. I was in Bombay for so many years. I have become a farmer now. I have shifted to Wayanad. So I keep coming here. My daughter works here. So thank you very much. Now coming back to the question. I have been churning Ramayana from every possible angle. Something kind of a manthan. So all kind of things come. Lakshmi comes, Apsaras come, Kalagut comes, poison comes, everything comes out of it. Asura was my first book from Ravana's point of view, as you rightly said. And then a series of things both in television and as books, as short stories, in different media I had done it. And often I get asked, where are you getting all these stories from? Are you stoned and you are imagining these stories? Part of it is true. But where are you getting all these things from? So I thought that I should compile this, whatever I heard. And initially this was an audiobook. It came during COVID times. So that was a time when I started dictating to my phone about all the stories I remembered, just like an oral storytelling session. That's how I heard Ramayana first, not as a book. And most of the Ramayanas available are folk tales. And there is one good thing about Ramayana. You imagine anything. It was told by a saint actually. He told you, imagine anything about Ramayana, it will be there. The wildest of your imaginations, there will be some Ramayana with that as a plot. So there is nothing like one Ramayana. So that was the idea of many Ramayanas, many lessons. This work was done by a lot of great scholars earlier on this, but I was concentrating on, so there was nothing much more to add on what Kamili Burke or A.K. Ramanujan or other scholars like this had done. But I thought Manavalan in Tamil, a lot of people have done that. So I thought, why not compile the folk Ramayanas and other versions and also give the explanations which I got from various people, including my father, on how to interpret and different interpretations that various societies have given for each of the stories. So it came as audiobook, first both in English and Hindi. COVID time it was a big hit, and then HarperCollins approached and asked, why don't you make it into a book? So it's a part of a series of semi-fiction book. There is nothing called fiction or non-fiction in Indian storytelling tradition. For us everything is stories only. Even philosophy we tell as stories. Even science we tell as stories. So, strictly you cannot say it's a fiction or non-fiction, but it's a part of many Ramayanas, many lessons. Next one in January, first it is coming as an audiobook, many Krishnas, many lessons, different versions of Bhagavatams, then many Devis, different versions of Devis, then many Shivas. So it's a part of the series. This is the first book in that series.
So actually I find that there seems to be a slightly different approach for readers who are from more urban spaces or who have been more exposed to, like, let's say a long time ago, the Ramanand Sagar was Ramayana. And then you had an idea that that was the Ramayana. But whereas in all around our country, people who are watching the puppet shows and the folk dramas and the bardic stuff, they are exposed to more versions of the story. Can you tell us a little bit about in your childhood, what are these folk tales you heard? Because some of them were completely surprising for me to read, even though I thought I had read plenty of versions, but some of the stories in this were surprising for me too.
Actually, this book came 1 year back. My new book has come. In this 1 year, I encountered more Ramayanas than what I have written already in the book. So it keeps on coming. There is no end to it. One of the stories, one of the folk tales from Kerala, there is no Agni Barisha. It's the other way around. Sita doesn't go with Rama. I not written in that book. I encountered it later after writing the book. So that's why I'm telling this. Other things I want you to buy the book and read. So Sita doesn't go with Ram for Vanvas because she says, I am not responsible for the deal you had with your father. I am not coming. Typically from a matrilineal society, you can expect all these things. So she is in coming and he comes back. He and Lakshman come back and Sita refuses to open the door. She says, I don't know which all women you would have gone with. See, instead of Agni Barisha, it's the other way around.
So this is oral Ramayana?
So Ram has to...
You read it or you heard it?
Heard it. But now you can find them. People keep compiling it here and there. You can find them. But fortunately, she doesn't ask Ram to do a Agni Bariksha. His word is good enough for her. So he promises on his father that I have only loved you and I had never been with any woman.
And he has a statue to prove it.
Yeah. that version is there. Then only she opens the door and lets him come in. So the way in which Ramayana has been used by every society and community, some people have used it to impose patriarchal values or caste system. Some people have used the same Ramayana to fight it against that. So the Ramayana has been a great story and a tool, perhaps one of the greatest anti-caste and anti-patriarchal tool used by the subaltern to fight. It was never by denying that, but using the Ramayana itself across India, across Asia, people have interpreted it the way they want. So in some of the Jain Ramayanas, they interpreted it Ram as Ahimsavadi, kind of Gandhi. So it is Lakshman who goes and kills it. In Shaktaya Ramayana, it is two versions are there. In one version, Ram is not able to kill Ravan. So not two versions, there will be many versions. What I encountered, I am saying. So Sita has to kill Ravan. In another, Sita, Sahasramukha Ravan comes. As if 10 heads are not enough, somebody with 1,000 heads come. I can't understand the logistics of it.
It's very baffling.
It's very baffling, but she kills him.
I think overall it seems to be like an education or an increase of awareness for all of us. And I remember when, I think it was not even a decade ago, that essay 300 Ramayanas was banned, and there was like A.K. Ramanujan's essay was banned from being put in some anthology because everybody was very concerned that there was a Buddhist Ramayana or there was a Jain Ramayana. And here we have now like a popular genre book, many Ramayanas, and we are sitting here on stage talking about...
Maybe nobody is taking me seriously like A.K. Ramanujan.
No. We want to take you seriously. So, but I think this really legitimizes that the fact that we know that there are so many Ramayanas and there are so many counter narratives. So,
thank you, Mani, for the dire warning. Before they ban, please rush and get the book. I'm here to sign it.
But Anand, can you give us some examples of how the context actually changes the Ramayana? Like just before you talked about how in Kerala, which is like a matriarchal society, obviously it seems logical that it would be flipped. The roles would be flipped. Like that, and of course we know about how the Shambhuka story comes up. And then, of course, the anger gets directed towards Rama, whereas the story could have been concocted and added later as an interpolation. Can you give us some interesting examples of these kind of contrary
See, basically,
contexts?
Uttar Ramayana, as per many scholars, and I also believe, was added later. Uttar Ramayana is where most of the controversial things what we talk about Ramayana happens. And this was used as a tool by the priestly class to impose their will on people, because in Ramayana, it's very difficult to impose all those things. So Uttar Ramayana was added. So if you see that many of the Ramayanas which were translated, including Tulsidas Ramayana, doesn't have Uttar Ramayana. Tulsidas Uttar Ramayana is different.
But Tulsidas is called Ramcharit Manas.
Correct.
It's not Ramayana. So in a sense, isn't there a difference between like the story that claims to be the story and the story which is like a Ramakatha, which is like a narrative or a
That way
discourse?
you have only few Ramayanas then.
Ha.
There are more of Ramakathas or the allied characters
So,
what you have.
so this actually includes the overall universe of Ramakathas.
It
All
is
in-
mostly Ramakathas.
Yeah.
But for ease of understanding, it is I have put it as Ramayana. So
Yeah.
Ramayana itself, there are many variations, including Valmiki Ramayana. There are many
Has
variations.
been many. Been
Yeah,
Valmiki-
northern sections, southern one, the northwest one. So many of them are there.
Yeah.
But basically, coming back to your question, what was your question again? Sorry.
About the context, give us some examples of how the context changes the story.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like Kamban, for example, or something
I
more
will
less-
rather than giving a example, a dry example, which you can read in the book, I will tell an anecdote. I was called, I don't know who gave them the idea, I was called as a cultural ambassador in Bombay by the Maharashtra Tourism Department when they were conducting many Ramayana from across the world, the ballet and dramas, which is there in across Asia. So I was asked to give a speech. I went and gave the speech, and Honorable Chief Minister Fadnavis and all others were there on the venue. And I told them that in many Ramayanas, Sita is the daughter of Ravan. Imagine telling them to such a stage, and they were shocked. Some of them were shocked. At least the politicians were shocked, or they acted shocked. However, I don't know. They came and they said, it is impossible, it is not there. So I said, I have encountered at least 32 Ramayanas in which Sita is the daughter of Ravan. There could be more. There is no end to it. And there are different versions in that also, like Ravan knows it is his daughter. Ravan doesn't know it is his daughter. All these versions are there. Ravan knows it is his daughter, still he falls in love with her. That also is there. So anything you can think of, those kind of versions are there. Many of it will shock us.
I
But
remember something about how she was born from a sneeze.
that is in Kannada folktale. That's why she is called Sita.
Sita in Kannada means sneeze. So she was
Sneeze.
born from Ravana's sneeze.
Ravana sneezed and a baby came out. They were having high quality stuff which no clubs can offer. So sneezed and Sita came out. So there are so many versions of it. But in the mainstream Ramayana, especially when I went to Bombay and started writing shows, mostly in the north they are familiar with Tulsidas Ramayana only. And when I tell all these stories, they come they ask me whether you have taken quotation from somebody to get our studio burned.
They check
Why are you
what-
telling us these kind of stories?
They ask you what you've been eating and drinking.
Drinking. But I give them references. Some of it they allowed me to show in Siyake Ram, where I showed Shanta for the first time in screen, who is Rama's elder sister, who comes actually in Mahabharata's Ramayana. Mahabharata is a Ramayana which is very different from what Valmiki wrote. So coming back to this anecdote, so they were agitated. I stood my ground. I said it is there. Then the troops came. These are all like 500-year-old, 600-year-old living traditions from Thailand, from Indonesia, from Philippines, where Catholics play Ramayana. In every Ramayana of it, Sita was the daughter of Ravan. So they can't tell anything. No, this is a prince of Thailand and all are come. They can't tell anything to that. No, he is playing it, the role. So it opened up a world. So perhaps that is why how I could have got away also, because I had got the entire international conspiracy to prove that. So many people are doing it. Some of the Thai Ramayanas, which will usually shock, and usually I will see the which way to run because somebody will get agitated, but it is there. It is not the problem of the character who I am going to speak about. Hanuman has multiple wives. He is like a James Bond. In that Ramayana, where he goes ahead and do it, you can guess the place where it would have come from. It's from Thailand, where many of modern day people keeps vanishing once in a while. I don't want to name any of them, but it might be the place. So depending on that culture, they have reinterpreted the characters, but the story's core always remains the same.
So what is that template that remains other than the name of Rama and Sita and Ravana? Is there something that, does Rama's character always remain the same? Is there something invariable in it?
It
The
cannot
core?
be that always if 100 people write a story, it will be 100 ways of characterization. But basically what Ramayana, as far as I have understood, Ramayana is again, the Rama personifies the Tyaga, the sacrificial things. And Ravana personifies, it's not evil or good versus evil per se. Ravana more or less personifies the extreme materialism where everything of others, like that age-old slogan was there in advertisement. You are a great advertisement professional. Did I hear it wrong? I don't know. Mera baap ka sapna, sabka maal apna. Who had that punchline?
I don't remember.
Okay. I don't want, they are ruling the country. I don't want to tell that. At least they are sponsoring the country. Fine. So, Ravan's philosophy was that. That's why I wrote the book Asura Way for all modern day Ravanas, because in this Kali Yuga, that is what is required. All of us have to become Ravans, male and female Ravans, because it is about grasping things. So Ravan wants another man's kingdom, everybody's kingdom, another man's wife, everything is grasping. And Ram is about giving away everything.
Yeah.
You can keep interpreting in various ways, but this is a core of it. So it is about somebody who sacrifices. So Ram doesn't want the kingdom, Ram doesn't want his wife, Ram doesn't want his brother. He is totally detached. How good or bad it is separate, but he is the epitome of Tyag, and that is why he is called Tyagamurti and Dharmamurti.
And the devotion follows that ideal, isn't it?
Devotion follows that ideal. But Ravan, not even in, only after the medieval ages that Ravan became as evil. Ravan was considered as the core factories.
Tapasvi, right? He was a...
Tapasvi, initially he did Tapasvi. After he got Vardhan, he went on a spree of acquisitions. Many people, this is a startup capital, so people will understand. So he had his own private island, private jet, he went on an acquisition spree. He could be the Elon Musk of that time or whoever it is. I can tell that. No, I don't need to work 120 hours or something. What you all work 120 hours per day? Your city father had told something, no? So I was living in Mumbai and they said, what? Bangalore people are so lazy. Only 120 hours a week or something like that.
Wait, you told me you were working in Bombay 4 days a week. How much is that? 4 8s, 8 hours? 24 hours, 4 days.
I work only 2 to 3 hours. I was in corporate and finally it was like so much PowerPoint presentation was there that now even in my dreams I keep seeing PowerPoint presentations.
Okay. So, Anand, coming back to your book, because that's kind of my task here to talk about your book. It says many Ramayanas, many lessons. And as you tell all these various multiple stories, you're drawing lessons from it. I noticed that one of the main lessons that you keep drawing is that of karma and karma phala. And of course, to me, it seems very unfair because, it's the person who's going through the suffering who's not going to like that argument of this was actually my karma. That's why I'm going through this.
It's about the Shad Darsanas, what you call, how we look at life. So I have, sometimes, I think last year also I told it when I came here, I will repeat it once again. Another way of looking at life is the Semitic way of looking at life, the Abrahamic way of looking at life, the Western way of looking at life, whatever you call it, even though Judeo-Christian, Marxist way of looking at life. These 4 religions, basically Marxism, the first religion in that, then Christianity. I don't know whether I can go back. I'm going back to Kerala, but still I'm telling it. Marxism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. They have a clear-cut
an idea, way of thinking.
Idea of it. So this was, I heard this joke from Swami Vivekananda long ago on a speech where he talked about gods. When the God came, the God is a very mischievous fellow like our Krishna. So God said to one group of people a set of instruction. He said that you should not eat pigs and you can marry 4. And just to have fun, he called the next group his neighbor and told that you can eat pigs, but you can marry only 1. And he said, and he also told them.
And he made them neighbors.
He made them neighbors. He's very mischievous. So he gave a set of rules to all these people. And each of them contradictory to each other. And he was having fun. Then there was a 5th guy sitting there. So he had given 10 commandments or all and said that. And he also gave the typical, what all your HR management does, no? That temptation, if you achieve the target, you will have a vacation in Thailand without your spouse. Or the threat, you will be benched. This threat, same thing. No, the religion also works the same way. You will go to hell and there they will make you tandoor or whatever it is. Or you will have 72 Sunny Leons or whoever it is, and this kind of temptations they give. So this is what basically it worked. Then the fifth guy they asked, and he said, see, I have a set of rules, God said. He said, but who are you? What is the guarantee that you are the God? And why should I follow all these things? What if I don't follow it? He said, God said, to hell with it. You are a Hindu, you do whatever you want. There are no rules for you. So, everything goes. Everything and anything goes. So, we find that is how you get into Bangalore traffic, you understand that. Anything and everything goes. So, in this way, so karma and karma bala was a philosophy made to make sense of life. Just like the other one is very easy. You didn't follow all these things, you will get everything in the afterlife. Either you will be in heaven or hell. Whereas karma and karma bala, you don't know how to explain life. You don't know how to explain suffering. You don't know how to explain. The world is so random. There is no meaning for it. And world doesn't care. So we have to find some sense to life. No? So we keep telling that, why am I suffering? Maybe in my previous birth, I had done something to someone. So that's why I am suffering. I had used ChatGPT for my presentation. That's why I am suffering. So all these kind of things, karma and karma comes. So in Ramayana and Mahabharata, essentially in our all stories, they had tried to explain the life, the problems of life with it. So in Ramayana, you clearly see, even Ram is not an exemption from the law of karma. So wherever this law of karma doesn't work, they made them intelligently Chiranjeevis. So Hanuman doesn't pay for what he did in Lanka for burning the city. Whereas Ram, because he's a Chiranjeevi, he doesn't have the next life. But Ram, when he kills Bali hiding behind a tree, we have a lot of debates and a lot of intellectuals have earned their living criticizing Ram for that. But the folk tellers don't have that problem. They just tell it as such. Because it was a karma which Ram had to do. And whether Ram can give his explanations, but none of the explanations are convincing. It doesn't matter. Because Ram knows he is going to pay the price in the next Janma. So in the next Janma, Jara comes and kills Krishna. The Bali takes birth as Jara. Same way, another simpler example to understand. Ram acts like your manager at the time. The very, what you call, in Rameshwaram, they want to cross the sea. And when the monkeys or vanas are putting the stone, it is sinking. Why? The dharma of the stone is to sink, right? That's the nature of the stone. But Ram wants a very unreasonable target. Just like your managers. So he wants it to float. But he is Ram. So Varuna also has given a promise to Ravan that he will protect Lanka. But he says, nothing doing, I am going to put Brahmastra on you. Because I want the bridge to be built. And you have to do it. So Varuna says there will be a karma bala for what you are doing. Ram says, for me, this is more important. I know, I am taking a choice. This is my choice. I know there will be a reaction for it. If not in this Janma, in next Janma it will be there. Let it be so. And then the stone made, bridge is made, the stones float. And what happens in the next Janma? The same sea comes back to take away the Dwaraka. So they try to link Ramayana and Mahabharata and other Puranas with the karma and karma.
It's very interesting. So in this book, basically, I'm just going to summarize because I want to also push your next one, the next book, I mean. Anand gives multiple versions of Ramayana as well as talks about the lessons from each of them, explaining the karma, karma phala, and doing all the linkages. So if you're confused about all the different versions of Ramayanas, this might be the single book to get because it's all in here. And you can see all the bewildering variety that exists in our...
I can promise that it will confuse you further. That was the idea. So that you will keep your ears and eyes open for more and more Ramayana.
Yeah, and you're going to also accept all the other bizarre versions that he's going to come up with. But but one of the very interesting books that Anand is going to come up with next is based on Here it is. Can I just show it to
Yeah,
them? Because we'd like to play the video also, and you can talk a little bit about it.
Little bit about it.
Very fascinating genre. Like you have AI and video games and sci-fi and mythology, everything all mixed up in this. The Legend of Kumari Kandam. And this is the first book, Mahishasura, which has just come out.
Can we play the video?
Play that video, because we have got 14 minutes and I want them to see it, and then you can talk about it.
5 minutes and then open for the question.
Start with Ramayana and end
So this is meant for Bangalore actually. Huh?
What if we're all living in a simulation and the world is a Maya? What if we are all AI, created by some intelligent, powerful being? What if what is going to happen has already happened?
You think you are the creator, and I, a mere illusion? I will flip it. What is real will become unreal, and unreal will become real.
Can you
Thank
talk
you.
about it?
Yeah.
Talk to them about it.
So basically, I want to give a brief about this. I came with Asura at that time when no one was, not many people, except perhaps my friend Amish, no one was writing in this genre. So at that time, I didn't know this was going to come. I wanted to write something. Ideally, I should have written Quarter Girlfriend or something like that, but I went for this. And now, after doing 18 books, 18th book, I thought that something different I had to do for this era. But I can't go away from mythology. I'm very fascinated with science also. So I decided that I'll merge three worlds. Basically, it comes from the idea of we are all living in a simulation. So that's another way of darshana. Nothing matters. It's a simulation game here. It's all Leela. So we are all living.
Put some karma into it.
Let's put some karma into it. Let's add some colors into it. So basically, there are these three gamers who are sitting in Satyaloka. That's the only true world. Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, three are there. Shiva, these three are there. They have created a game. They have created a simulation of 13 worlds. And they are playing the game. So each of the game, they are given some attributes. But one among them, the Asuras, they start developing science. So there is a Asuri scientist called Nakta. So Asuras are called Naktancharas also. Nakta, she realizes that we are living in a simulation and the total energy equation, something is missing. And that is on earth. She is in a female form. So I go into the Tamil legend of Kumari Kandam, where it is believed that India is not the present day India, but it extended up to Australia. Not that Australia where Arjuna kept his arrows. It is a continent which extends up to Australia called Kumari Kandam. So in Kumari Kandam, the queen was Meenakshi, the Madura Meenakshi, but it is not the present day Madurai. And her consort was Sundaresha or Shiva. So how Shiva comes there, how Nakta attacks it using science, and Nakta creates a boat of Mahishasura. She sucks in the, the information from all the human beings, like how all our great people are doing from America while we are giving reels. They suck out all the data and creates Mahishasura to attack and take over the Kumari Kandam. With this, I also added one more Purana, Matsya Purana. In Matsya Purana, where Kumari Kandam ends, is where Matsya Purana starts. In Matsya Purana, it is said that Manu, the first king, was my countryman, a Chera prince. A Dravida prince or a Chera prince, and where the Vishnu's Matsya comes, and the famous thing of the ship, Manu's ship, which you would have heard in every culture as Noah's ship, the Epic of Gilgamesh. It's a collective memory of humanity. Where did this come from? So the Kumari Kandam, entire Kumari Kandam gets destroyed in the war between Mahishasura and Durga or Meenakshi. And how Manu escapes with a group of people writing Manusmriti and starts a Vedic civilization. So it's a pre-Vedic civilization, what India was, mixing it with science fiction.
Science fiction. So mythology, science fiction, artificial intelligence, chips and bots and asuras. All
Asuras. So it is like, it was inspired by, why not create something like what Marvel had done. We had a much bigger mythology, much richer mythology. How to connect it with today and create something totally different. I don't know, it's an experiment. Maybe it will work, maybe it won't, but my dream is to create it into like a Marvel kind of films, taking it something much bigger than Bahubali and other things, and take it into a global film. So I had, even last week I had gone to Mumbai to pitch for it. There are some interest. We are trying to make it into a massive film which we will challenge the Hollywood. It's all Asura way of thinking. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anand. Now time for questions. We have like just about 9 minutes. Any questions? There are a few hands here. Just jump straight to the question, please. Yeah.
Good morning, sir. It was great listening to you. Welcome to Bangalore. So my question is, right from your first book, From Asura to Kumari Kandam, you have been championing the voice of the oppressed and those characters which have not been given certain interest in the mainstream stories. So my question is, how important is it to view the stories of Ramayana and Mahabharata from the lens of the oppressed people?
Very, very important. See, in India, we think the anti-caste, anti-patriarchal war started recently. No. This has a tradition right from the Ramayana times, right from the Mahabharata times. Most of the saints of India had fought against it, whether it is Surdas or Basava or Kabir or Srinarayana Guru. The entire tradition for the last 2,500 years have fought in their own way against the idea of caste, including like even the subaltern story of Shiva coming to Shankaracharya. See, even it's that old, no? That story many of you might be aware, where Shankaracharya is traveling and the so-called untouchable, Chandala, comes on his way, and his disciples say, move away, the great Jagadguru is coming. And the Chandala asks whether, is it the Chandala Parabrahma which has to move or the Brahmana Parabrahma which has to move? And he hears it, and Shankaracharya's eyes are opened. This is enacted every day in some temples of Kerala, like Parsnikadavu. This is enacted every day, saying that Shankara has propagated everyone has the same Advaita. There is no difference between I and the universe or everything. Everything is one. And that he is seeing a caste in another human being. To open his eyes, this Chandala asked this question, and the Chandala is celebrated as the Mahachandala Shiva. Shiva is celebrated as Mahachandala. So this subaltern way of telling is nothing new to us. I am not the first person to do it. Only that my books became popular, I wrote in English. This has been done for thousands of years and also in various classical languages of India for thousands of years. So it is very important to read that, because Ramayana was used as a tool for propagation of caste hierarchy. The same Ramayana should be used to tell the theory of Advaita, to tell to emphasize on empathy. This has been always the way in which India has worked. It's a place of contradiction. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. My question is on a lighter note. Considering how many versions of Ramayana that you have seen, does that interplay in your personal life as well when you're having conversations with your people, where you think like, what is the story happening behind? Like, is this the right story or is this the reality?
My wife is here. She has banned me about talking about Ramayana at home. So everything I try to, it is like a man who knowing one trick, no? So everything I try to interpret through that. I don't know nothing much about many other things. So I keep coming back to this. So my life, it has influenced. Definitely Ramayana and Mahabharata has influenced. And Mahabharata has actually more versions than Ramayana. There are so many versions of Mahabharata. It's so fascinating.
That was one of the things we were talking about before, that there was like a Kannada poet who said that the serpent that holds the earth is groaning under the burden of so many Ramayanas.
Yeah.
So I'm going to write work on Mahabharata instead.
Good afternoon. Amazing books that you have. I wanted to ask, like, you've researched so much about Ramayana and so many stories. We question, like, are they just stories, or according to you personally, were there really people like Rama, Ravana, all of them were people now built into stories because we have this floating bridge, I think, somewhere connecting between Sri Lanka and India. That's what my father told me. I don't know whether it's a reality or not. So, do you personally believe that these were people?
See, I'm quoting some great writer here. It is always, fiction is always better because fiction has to make sense. Life doesn't make any sense. So I believe there is so many versions. In Ramayana itself, so many examples come, right? That there are multiple Ramayanas. The Kagabusandi was referring, every Ramayana he comes. The sage Kagabusandi, every time Ram is born, he is present. There is a famous story of Hanuman going to get the ring, which I had mentioned in it. So Rama is not able to, so if you go to Ayodhya, there are a lot of smaller temples. In one of the small temple, there is Hanuman who is standing with an angry face. So the priest told me the story. I heard it in different versions of it also. That this is the place where Hanuman was. Hanuman was standing guard for Ayodhya so that the Kala, the time, Yama, time again, will not come for Ram and take him away. So as long as Hanuman is there, the time cannot touch Ram. So Ram knows he has to go. So he takes his rings and puts down. Perhaps the contractor had not done a good job. There was a crack on the floor and the ring goes down into Patal Lok, such a big crack. So Hanuman has to go down and get it. When Hanuman goes there, there is another Chiranjeevi sitting there. My country cousin, Mahabali. He comes only once in a year to Kerala. Now he has stopped coming also. He is sitting there. And he finds so many, Hanuman comes and asks, I came for a ring. Mahabali says, okay, take whatever you want. And Hanuman looks up, there is a huge mountain of rings. So Hanuman asks, what is this? He says, any ring is fine. These are all the rings. Every time this Ramayana happens, one monkey comes down asking for a ring. And I tell this story, and the monkey rushes away without taking a single ring. That's why so many rings are there. Hanuman rushes back, and by the time Rama has gone. So he is angry and he is standing there. That statue is there, and one priest is there. So you can do puja, give him money, and that's how the stories come.
And also the part where Sita says, how can you tell me not to come to the forest? In every Ramayana,
Every Ramayana, Sita has gone to the forest. So the greatness of this is that all these stories is that it is supposed to have happened. In Kagabusandi tells one more thing. There are multiple universes, and somewhere or other a Ramayana is happening.
Somebody told me once, the explanation is that in the astrological combinations, when certain permutations happen, every time that permutation happens, a different permutation of the story happens. So therefore, they are all true.
So that's why, like beautifully explained. So many versions are there. Imagine there was only one version, no? It will be so boring. And we don't get anything out of it. Do we get anything out of learning what did Alexander do coming? He's a historical person. He came, invaded and went. So what? So many people invaded, some didn't go. We get more from stories. That's why I write less non-fiction book. And I am advocating for fiction books so that you will buy more of my books instead of buying stupid non-fiction books.
Hello, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. We just have 1 minute left for one more question.
Yeah.
Who's asking?
Sir.
Am I asking?
Sir.
Okay. Since I have read other than the Ramayana, which I hear from my father, grandmother, etc., I read the Thai Ramayana, which is more like what you think of Thailand. Now what is the core, why is it called Ramayana, and why is the king of Thailand called Rama, now I think the 11th? What is the core similarity, what is the core of both the stories?
Sir, actually wherever Ramayana had gone, no, people have imagined Ayodhya is there, Lanka is there. So there is a kind of transfer. Even in Wayanad where I come, there are tribal communities who believe that entire Ramayana happened in a place where you can go in an auto rickshaw. So the entire Ramayana is in that auto circuit where Lanka is there. So this kind of thing happened across the world.
Footprint will be there.
Footprint is there where one lake is there which is so clear that people have not found it out, tourists have not found it out. They think that it is the tear of Sita. When she tears of Sita, that is why it is so clear. Now people are picnicking there, so sometime later they will say something else. As of now, it is so pure, the water is so pure. So this kind of transferring of the story has happened across the world and everyone owns the Ramayana. So it is not bounded by a geography or the line which one foreigner drew and said, beyond this they are enemies, this so that we keep fighting. So it transcends all those things. That Ram, Ramayana, Ravan, everything transcends the entire borders of any country or religion or caste. It is a universal thing.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Hello,
much.
Thank you, sir.
So I have one question. I'm here, sir. Here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I am someone who's read a lot of our Hindu mythology and fantasy. I love Lord of the Rings, Marvel, DC Comics, everything. And like you mentioned, right, I really think the coolest movies in the world would be if we made our own stories into those movies. But do you think that that is actually possible as a movie, sir? I agree that I'm so excited for your book, I would love to read it and see it in that metaverse concept. But when it comes to a movie, we immediately think of the person playing Rama has to be someone who is of our religion and our this thing. And the thing is, our religion is so convoluted into politics and like even when a movie like Padmavat came out, there was so much backlash. Do you really think they can make a Ramayana without someone questioning the caste, creed or religion of the person playing the characters?
We will have AA actors, sir. It will take a long time for them to ascribe a caste to AI. In that gap now we will make a lot of films. That's a plan.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.